in that in my.
It's okay. It's
Um,
okay.
Actually, Shay, you have a lot of experience, especially in this field, battery field, and during the doctora and postdoc, you are working on battery field. And apart from this studying, this presentation, actually, I want to learn some things from you and maybe give advice for us. And finally, therefore, actually, uh, most researchers are working on batteries, especially sodium ion lithium ion solid state batteries. Uh, and Musab and me, about 2 years, and Musab maybe 2 and 4 years, we are studying in this field, and during the undergraduate, and now I am studying a master program. Uh, Actually, we want to study, we want to improve skills, battery field. Based on our discussion and your experience in this field, which battery technologies do you think are the most promising to focus on impactful research over the next five
Um,
and 10 years, and why?
uh,
Actually, most, especially Germany, most researchers uh, are working on uh, solid state batteries
Mm-hmm.
and drive cutting systems,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to improve different different skills. You say yes, and I want to learn some things from you.
Okay. So I would say after completing a master,
um,
this is completely. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ahmed?
by the way,
What?
I'm sorry to interrupt. I was going to move forward to these kind of topics. So,
Sure, sure,
if
sure.
there is no if there is no question about presentation, so directly we can start with this question. Actually, I was going to ask that question as well. So, like, what would be the like next trends from from based on your experiences, what would be your advice for us, like what would be the best skills and what would be the best battery technology or battery type to continue our research and our career as well.
So I would
Yes.
say, okay, it's a completely personal opinion. I would say first talk to as many people as possible. I mean, like this platform, when actually Ahmed shared, and then I was going through like the YouTube videos, like of previous speakers, and then like the Instagram page. I would say it's a very good thing that you are connected, because what happens is awareness is one of the things. I think most of people, like when I was doing my master's, I did not have much awareness about, like, batteries, and then you can do internships outside, all those things. So it's a very different thing for you all right now with internet so much. So I would say be aware is a very big thing. Second thing, what kind of career are you looking into is a very another great uh I would say starting point for what kind of batteries, if you're looking into battery research, okay, or any kind of research, what kind of path you're going to take. So after completing masters, I have not done it, but if somebody asks, I do say this: go for an industry for 1 or 2 years. If okay, go for an industry, battery industry or any kind of industry, go for 1 or 2 years. You will see the difference. Okay, you have a battery experience, you can always apply to industries and get into an industry, be it in Turkey or be it in Germany or be it in Sweden. Anyway, it's gone. Northvolt is gone, Altris is almost gone. So I mean, like, it's bad over here, the battery industry. But then like look into good industries in Turkey or Germany, for example. They have been good. But then there will be so many startups also you can look into. But do work at that scale. Okay. Doesn't matter the technology. If they're working with lithium sulfur, solid state, sodium, or lithium ion batteries. Okay. If you are having an engineering background, BMS, thermal management, things like that. All right. So, but look at that scale, how the things are done. once you know that thing, okay, once you know that thing, you will yourself have a clear idea what academia needs. This is my understanding. I have not done it, okay? But anybody asks me, I do say from this perspective because I think that is something which is missing after talking to my friends. They are saying like it's not like we keep proving. I made materials, okay? Tomorrow I make better materials, but what is the use? How do I actually apply it in industry? Right? If you want to patent it, I mean, like you can make a small molecule, try to patent it. Okay, but how does actually industry look? So that kind of an understanding, if you are having, but yeah, I'll complete this first. That is important, okay? To which field you will go into. So if you think, I mean, like if you're working on electrolyte optimization, suppose in an industry, you will know what is exactly like the issue with the electrolyte at an industrial scale. And so at a fundamental level, what I should be doing. Okay, if I want to pursue an academic career after that, okay, do a PhD, what problems will I be looking into? Right. So that is one of the major, because see, when I design my experiments, I read. Okay, I read papers and then I understand maybe the issues which are underlying. But I've never seen those issues underlying. How do I believe those? Right. Somebody says graphite is bad. Like, I mean, like it's bad, but then uh it may not be the case because graphite, we are still using graphite with a little bit of silicon now. Right. So for anybody, I would say just go to industry 1 years, 2 years max. If you want to do PhD, if you're sure about it, that you want to have an academic career for at least 4 years, like, but have an industrial experience, know how you are working, what problems are you looking into. Industries have very standardized procedures, right? So those things you'll get exposed to. So my experiments may not be what experiments industries are doing. Something again I really not like having, because industries have very standardized procedures. I do something by reading papers, and reading papers you do not know which one to trust, which one not. So you go for good authors, maybe that is one way to select. But industrial experience is important. But if you have decided that you want to have an academic career, come whatever may, okay, like it doesn't matter how the industry is working. I want to study. I want to study the batteries in whatever form, either make materials or study existing materials. The important thing is how you want to study. Do you want to go for bigger papers? Okay. Or do you want to go? I mean, like these are again two different directions. This is what is all my experience I have seen. Okay. I'm also trying to transition. I would love to be an academician, but then somehow I feel like I should have been in, I feel more inclined towards industry at the moment. But remember, what do you want? Like you want better papers. That is one way of being in academia. Okay. You're showing your results in very good papers, or you want to study very nice good amount of studies you want to do. And like if you suppose, if you read one of the professors, Eric Berry, Ahmad will be knowing, right? He does experiments on FEC, VC, okay, additives, normal additives, right? And he does that. He still studies those, and his papers are not in like very like Nature and stuff, but then those studies are so very important. Okay, so very detailed, so very nice to read actually. Okay, and that is one way, but then some people do not believe in that. Okay, if you go to a material development lab, they will aim for bigger papers. Okay, if you read Nature materials, there will be not like hardly any studies like this. There will be like new materials development. So, and new materials can be applied to anything irrespective of your future goals. Okay, so if you are making a new polymer, it can be in lithium sulfur, you can apply. So that choice again, like, so the next step comes, which battery field now. So if you want to be again in academia, look into fields which is paying and giving you grants. AI at the moment is like that hotcake. Okay, gets funded a lot, even for battery designing. AI is, that is my again my perception, okay, of things I have seen. See which country you're going to work and what that country needs. Okay, for example, Swedish Energy Council, they see if the whole idea you are writing to, like this is from again speaking to few of the people over here. uh, the idea you're proposing, is it good for Sweden? So something which is good for Sweden may not be good for Turkey. Something which is good for Turkey may not be good for India. So it may not be funded. Right. So look into the field, and this is all my personal observation. Okay. So look into the field, because end of the day you want funding, right? I mean, like you can't do your research without funding. So look into the field which is paying for that country. All right. And then do your research based on that. Or so that will give you like a higher impact factor papers also, because you'll be doing something very new. Or forget everything. If you are very much focused on doing some basics fundamental studies like Eric Berry, who is doing great job, okay, you can still get funding. Okay, given that you know how to write, you know how to write your grants. So that is one of the things. Okay, and of course he's doing great things. He is like, I think in Inti's project is about, I think he presented like understanding like through acoustic modeling kind of a thing. He would determine the degradation. So those kind of studies. So there are people over here doing very nice studies like basics understandings, but very very new methodologies. So there is a lot of paths. So once you get into the field, it will open up. Okay, so don't get overwhelmed like, there are so many fields, and then there is so many things to do. But as you get into the field, try to remember these things. I would say try to look into these things so that if you are pursuing an academic career, it becomes a little more smooth. Okay, so that'll be my suggestion.
Thank you so much. Actually, those are great points.